So Season of the Witch. Let's talk about it. Let's share our thoughts. Like, how are we feeling about the season? Like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it okay? What is it? Well, I'm going to answer that in this video. And also play at the same time. I'm playing at the same time because, multitasking is my strongest thing. It's not actually quite bad at it. But here I am. Let's talk about Season of the Witch. So I know that also, like, when it comes to me giving a review on the season or just like my thoughts on it, I know that we're not done yet. I know that we have still, like, I think a month, like a month and a half, 2 months that is left until the season's actually done. But I'm gonna just safely say that I think that we have 90% to 95% of what the season has to offer already here. So that extra 5% or whatever that will be given to us, whether it be like a secret exotic mission or a season finale or whatever, that's just gonna add like some extra points. So yeah, we pretty much kind of like see how these seasons normally go, is that we experience most that is there in the beginning month, and then after that it's just kind of like, oh, is there going to be a surprise? Or the finale, what's that going to be like? It's kind of like that normally with these seasons. So that's why, like I said, I'm giving my thoughts now. Because everyone keeps asking me, like, do I like this season? Do I not like it? So yeah, I'll talk about like each like different category to this season, like the story, the gameplay, the loot, like sandbox stuff, the raid, because all the stuff that's tied to the season. Like, if we don't have a dungeon this season, but if there was a dungeon, I sort of sometimes count it to the season, even though it's separated, like, in purchase. But, obviously this season we have a reprise raid, so I can definitely count it because it was free! It was free, and it's sort of part of the season. So, I'll talk about the story after this point, because I want to talk about the gameplay first, because yes, story is important when it comes to the season, but for me, if you're gonna have good story but like no good gameplay, you might as well just write a book. The season's like activities, the gameplay with it, I love both the activities. Normally, the seasonal activities are kind of like something that I'm just like, I'm bored with after like 2 weeks. But I've actually found the activities being pretty enjoyable even past that, which is good. I think the summoning, which is what I'm playing right now, is by far my favorite. It's got that Crota Oryx vibe to it. It clearly is an inspiration of that. It was cool that they also like added like more bosses over time. Like, it wasn't just the ones that we were given. It evolved. I don't think it's going to evolve any more than that. I mean, maybe they might with like the story seasonal stuff, like at the finale. But I think that we've experienced most that what they've added, which was a few extra things to the season activity, like including the Spire. But yeah, I really like the summoning. It's like Court of Oryx. It's got different tiers for if you want a more challenging experience. You got tier 3s. If you don't, you got tier 2s and tier 1s. It's nice. It's really, really fun to play. And even with like just random players, it can sometimes be a mess when trying to do tier 3s, but most of the time it's pretty fair. Some of the modifiers, though, could get really bad. But other than that, very good. Spire, also very good. It was also good that they had a Legend version released to us. Like, I think it was like in week 2 or week 3. I can't remember. But it was like really early on. It wasn't like waiting a month and a half or whatever that we normally expect from these like increased challenge versions of the seasonal activity, which I get so tired of. I feel like even with this, like waiting a week or two till the next level, like legend difficulty version, is still much. I still think that we should have the choice to play on legend or whatever the higher difficulties are right away. Because it's once they release the legend versions, everyone's got the red borders that they want. They got the loot that they want. Except in this case, I'm still going for some loot with the Red War weapons, which I do like. Which I'll talk about that when it comes to like loot and stuff with the season. But yeah, gameplay, the seasonal activities, great. The only thing that I am going to say that is just getting a little bit boring is the story not having any like unique story missions for each week. I mean, we pretty much only get like, I think it's like 7 weeks of story, and then it's on pause with the seasonal event or whatever, and then it comes back maybe with a season finale. It would be nice if each of those weeks had more than just listen to characters talk, which is still good. It's better than reading the lore. But it would be nice if we had like a mission that's like to the extent of not even like an expansion. It doesn't have to be like that crazy, but just something rather than just go into the seasonal activity or go into a lost sector that's been around forever, do a thing, and then go to orbit, listen to the characters talk. But that's just like a small issue, because like I said, the seasonal activities are really fun. So and it's great, love it. Now story. So that's the big thing about this season. Story's really good. It's interesting. The stakes are high. I mean, I know I won't spoil anything, but other than like the obvious that Eris is doing hive stuff and turning herself, pretty much trying to turn herself into a hive god. And it could go good ways or bad ways. Especially with the lore of the other universes that timelines with that Elsie has gone through, where Eris became evil. Yeah, so kind of makes you go, okay, what is going to happen? I think this season has definitely got more of an exciting build-up than last season. Like, last season was basically just having a whale be like, I could tell you, but hold on, wait a minute. You gotta get the right radio signal to us, so then I can tell you exactly what you want to know. Because, like, Xivu was, like, stopping the Asa from communicating and stuff, I guess. But it's just like, that just is kind of like a boring way of just like, okay, so it's just waiting. It's just constantly just waiting. I mean, the atmosphere of the season was good, but I think the story, I just kind of was like... Well, this one, interesting. We got Maru. We're going to probably bring back Savathun. That's apparently our goal as well. We're making Eris strong to battle Xivu is crazy. And, yeah, it's got some twists and turns in there that makes it, like I said, makes it actually interesting and wants you to keep with it. Like, I actually can't wait to get on for Reset to learn more on what's happening. So it's good. It's good. Story's good. Like it. It's not. I will definitely say it's way better than last season. The next thing is I guess we'll talk about the raid. I mean, I could talk about loot, but I'll talk about like loot in combination with the raid. But actually, no, because I might as well talk about the loot of Crota's End as well as like in its own category. But we'll talk about like the weapons and stuff in general and whatever right after. But Crota's End being reprised it's amazing. They turned a strike into a raid. Like, I loved Crota's End, but I'm not gonna lie, it was very easy compared to any other raid that you would experience. It like you could cheese all the encounters. Essentially, it was super easy. And the DPS was based on the sword for Crota instead of the weapons. The weapons were just allowing you to break the shield to... Whoa! I always love when that happens. Where you break the shield and then the sword is what does the most damage, which leads into just... What's the point of using a lot of weapons other than breaking the shield? It was just... There's a lot of things I could talk about the old one, but let's not get into it. Other than it was a strike. It was easier. They turned Crota's End into an actual raid. Like the new mechanics that didn't ruin it either. It didn't ruin the experience. It wasn't like they went a little too far on certain things. Where it's just like, I kind of just don't like this. I don't like how this ruined what originally was good or whatever. It enhanced it. Even the lantern area, like with the chalice, with the different stuff. Zevo, you talking in all caps? My goodness. But you got all the different obstacles, the little ding dong things that hit you. It's cool how they did it. It makes it more where you need communication. You got to work together, or you can just strand your way through it, which a lot of like my team has done that a lot. What was it? The chalice mechanic was not that tedious. It was actually good. I don't think that it really was as awful as I could think they could go with a reprise raid. I mean, Vault of Glass, they made some big changes too, and it didn't really ruin it. So it's really good to see that they did the same path with Crota, where it's like it just enhanced it. And it enhanced it greatly. All the encounters are really fun. They're all encounters. You could still cheese the bridge encounter, technically. Like you could push off the knights without a sword, but you still need a sword to get across to deposit and stuff for the encounter. So they thought of everything to ensure that we can't just like easy peasy get through it all. Because we did do that a lot in D1, is just skip the Crota encounters. Well, specifically the bridge one was not even an encounter. But yeah, Crota, like the one thing that I will say that I really love is what I was explaining earlier, is you actually use your weapons against Crota. Instead of the sword bearer, it's like the opposite now. So the sword bearer breaks the shield, and then after that you could do DPS with whatever you want. A lot of people are doing swords. I've seen some people actually using range weapons and stuff as like another choice. But regardless, it adds to a more unique version of the final versus the way it was, which was just hitting with a sword. But yeah, good. And the loot, I will talk about the loot now with the Crota's End raid and its own thing. I'll talk about the other loot as well, like the seasonal activity right after. But the loot, pretty nuts. Sad what they did to Word of Crota. Was really looking forward to having a 140 hand cannon with insane PvE and PvP perks. It's a 180, and I don't really like 180s, but at the same time, with the crazy amount of perks that you can get in different perk combinations, which this leads into the problem that they really need to allow us to craft weapons with multiple combinations to one weapon instead of one combination, like multiple perks. I hope they can do that at some point, because I don't want 4 Word of Crotas or whatever in my vault. My vault is already bad. I mean, my vault's great. It's so clean. But even then, with it being a 180, and I'm not a big fan of 180s, it's just how I feel about them. Very good perks to them that makes me want to use it. And it's the same thing with all the other weapons. Like the machine gun has crazy perks. The sword logic perk is really good. And even the origin trait, like doing the necrochasm curse thrall explosion is awesome. Like I really like what they did with that. And then like as just like an origin trait, but it was sad that we didn't get the rocket launcher, we didn't get the sniper. I know that Black Hammer is Whisper the Worm, which was Black Spindle. But they could have still had the sniper come back. Like I feel like especially with all these like new perks, it would have been really cool to see. So disappointing. Just thinking about getting a melee kill in like PvP and then sniping someone and they do the curse roll explosion. Like, come on. I'm so sad that we don't have that. And even like with the rocket, it's just sad we don't have that. I think that there was a couple other weapons. Oh man, I can't remember all of them. But all the weapons that are there, there's the shotgun, the pulse, the auto. They are fun to play with. They're all good. Like they all have more than just one perk combination that makes them good for PvP and PvE, which again makes the grind for these weapons really worth it to get all of them. Master Crota is still kind of like a letdown because of how they do Master, where it's like it's only the challenge that gives you the weapon, and it's only one weapon, and you don't get multiple perks, but you still get the craft, so it's like it's all right. But I still think that they should just have the weapon drop for each encounter. But if you do the challenge, you get like double. I think that would have been a lot better. And I don't know why we don't have Artifice armor in Master raids. I seriously don't. So, but yeah, other than that, the Crota Zen, amazing. It's super fun. Loot's great. Great. The other loot, this other sandbox stuff that is really good this season as well. I'm really... A lot of the weapons in the seasonal activity that you can craft are kind of... They're okay. I still think that they're fun. They're not like meta, like insane whatever, and even the origins trait is just like, okay, I guess. But there is some nice weapons in there, like the fusion and even the rocket. But yeah. But the red war engrams, and that's the one thing that I've been liking about these seasonal activities, is I get through the red border grind pretty quick, and I don't think that's a problem. I think that's like, if you're putting a lot of investment into the activity, I feel like it's fair to allow you to get rewarded for that. So nice. Nice that we can go through that. But then after that, it's like, what's the point of doing the seasonal activity when you get all the weapons that you want? So it's nice that they have a engram of red war weapons that you can't craft, so there's a reason for the RNG to come in, because crafting does kind of ruin the whole RNG grind. But this moth really wants me. They got the freaking the SMG, the sniper, and the shotgun, and the pulse. And the pulse is a strand weapon too. But they have the SMG, which I've been going for with kinetic tremors. Is awesome. It's very nice. So there's an actual reason for me to continue to get these engrams, and I love that about that. Like, they need to do that continuously for every season. They kind of did with the Season of Deep as well. With the only way to get the Gambit weapons, the non-taken weapons, they were like the random drops, where you couldn't craft them. So, like, that's where I'm like, yeah, I like that. Like, have an extra grind after you've completed the grind for the red borders for the seasonal activity. Also the card system is really fun. I should have added that with the activity. I completely forgot about that. I like the card system. It is really, like, would be nice to be able to bring out your ghost and see what those cards do, like instead of having to memorize which each card does. Like I know what the lie does. It gives you like infinite melee essentially, but I can't remember all of them. And it's such a pain. Like I just wish that just they would tell you a brief description of it in just when you bring out the ghost. Just at least that. That would be nice. And getting the cards is not annoying either. There's still some still timed, so it's still kind of hidden behind the old seasonal model that they said you'd kind of move away from. But yeah, like seeing like you would have to collect these cards that were like in each of the activities and stuff, which was nice. Kind of brought back that like finding the grimoire ghosts back, whether you liked it or hated it. It's kind of like that, I guess. Sort of, but not really. But yeah, it's still got that like you gotta wait till week 4 till you can get the card that allows you to get better armor drops, because that was also a big issue that I'm having with this activity. Is high stats not happening like at all. I mean, I seriously feel like they purposely make it really bad no matter how much you play the new activity. Like it's just it's nothing. But yeah, like I said, the card system still kind of fun. It adds another layer to the activity and a reason to grind for the stuff to the seasonal activity rather than just you get better drops. So cool. The others, the weapons stuff, like I know there's the world drops. I haven't really messed with a lot of them other than the sword, which I really like how it can have destabilizing rounds and repulsor's brace, I think, as well to the sword. So I've been really happy that I had that drop. But I haven't really messed with a lot of the other ones. But the Red War weapons I have messed with. Great. And the exotic armor pieces, that's the other thing. Those things, all of them are so fun. All of them. Every single one. The Titan basically got a better falling star for burning Maul. The hunters can just make moths. Like it's cool, and it goes really well with that new exotic as well, the one that we got this season, which I do enjoy that one too. It's nothing super crazy, but it's still fun to play with, especially with that hunter build. And then you got the Void Buddies for the Warlock. More Void Buddies is always good. So, like, though all those exotics, great. But I genuinely... I think that this season did really well. I know that they also added a PvP map, and I've had fun with it. I know a lot of people are mixed with it. I don't know how it'd play out if, like, it was a Trials map. But I think the big issue is just, like, a lot of the matchmaking issues that people are still having, that I'm still having with PvP, where I can't fully enjoy it yet. But the map... It's alright. It's just like, it's just a little too late. Like, they need to get these... Like, I know they're working on a map pack. I just don't know how many maps they're working on. But we got to get that content out there. Like, I keep saying that it would be... if in a perfect world for Destiny, we would also each season, or at least, like, every other season would get one PvP map, one Strike, and one Gambit map to add to the playlist. And then, like, expansions would add, like, a big... amount, but we don't live in that perfect world, sadly. So we take what we can get. But yeah, overall, season's good. I don't think I'm really missing anything, and if I am, I know that some of you are going to be like, "Oh, you missed talking about this," but yeah, I'm really enjoying this season. Like, if every season was like this, I'd be fine. Like, not like where it's just copy paste, but you know what I mean, where it's got that interest for everything. That we would be I'd be fine with that. It'd be nice, but I don't know if that will happen. But it's definitely way better than last season. And I know that we have Festival of the Lost. Can't even speak. But I am going to separate that into its own thing. I did not like Festival of the Lost last season. And I honestly miss the Haunted Forest. The whole Lost Sector thing that they're trying to push is just... It's just not... It's not hitting the same. But... I'll be curious on if they make any changes to feedback that they got last season, because I guarantee there's been a lot of feedback on it where it's just like, eh. But it's got new weapons to grind for. But yeah, I'll be curious on how this season ends. Continuing to play and do the seasonal stories each week. Continue to do content on this season as well. I've been having a lot of fun just messing with different weapons and builds. Like I said, I'm really, really liking this season. So if I were to give it a rating, I would say I would give it like an 8 out of 10. Like, yes, it could be better if like the core playlist got a little bit more love. Like, that's always been my big problem. And plus, the story, it's great, but it would be nice if we had, like, some cool missions. And we've gotten some. Like, the little puzzle room that we got. But, yeah. It's just, they still haven't made it, like, into, like, these seasonals, stories to where there's, like, all these missions that are unique and fun. Oh, there's some decent stats on that one, but I think that's because I finally got a card for it now. But, oh my gosh, and I can't wait till we make Xivu shush. And I feel like that won't happen. I don't think it's going to happen this season. I don't know, I'll be surprised on what they decide to do. I mean, she's the god of war. They're going to get rid of her in a season? Oof. We'll see. But... yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Like, what do you think of this season so far? Or just in general, because, like I said, I don't think that we're going to have any huge dumps of content on us. I mean, quote me. I mean, maybe I'll be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because it's, you know, more content's always better. But, yeah, let me know. Like, what do you think? Do you think that it's good? Do you think it's bad? Why? What could they do better? Just let me know. But regardless, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a chibi-tastic day, night, evening, wherever you are. And I'll see you in the next video. Chibi out.